What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioS 3 Raw TV. Well, this video is a public service announcement, and I think it really has to be made because I think a lot of people are super confused right now, and this has to do with the virus that's going around. I can't see the name of it because saying the name of the virus that is going around right now in general can get the video itself shadow banned, which means the video won't actually get out there that many people. Now, the whole point of making the video is to get it out there so people understand. So getting a shadow ban makes no sense. So bear with me. You understand what I'm talking about. It didn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. And first of all, let me just say that Aaron and I just came from traveling internationally, right? Last weekend we came back home from Mexico. We actually saw almost nobody, very few people here and there, maybe wearing the masks while they were traveling. In Mexico, it wasn't a big deal. Nobody cared. And when we were coming back on our return flight, we're standing in line in Cancun, and the person in front of us was from China. They had the Chinese passport and everything out, right? And we're like, well, for her to get to Mexico, she had to come from China to get there, right? Because she's going back to China. She has the Chinese passport in her hand. So that individual wasn't even wearing a mask or anything, right? So we were like, okay, people are not really freaking out because I just want to make sure I'm saying the right thing so people understand. So aside from whether or not I think it's deadly, I think it's going to kill everybody, let's take all that and put it aside. The thing I wanted to get to today that I never really thought about, and the only reason I think about it is because my wife, Erin, is a nurse. So therefore, she looks at it from a medical standpoint, not just of how this virus could spread in her people, but the repercussions of the way people are reacting to it. And that is the problem right now. So what spawned this video was I saw this individual. I cannot remember his name. I see him all the time. He's a funny dude. And he's like, why the fuck is everybody going to get all the toilet paper? Because you think Armageddon is coming, everybody's going to die. Why the fuck are you beating up old ladies over toilet paper? What the fuck is up with the toilet paper? And he kept going on and on about the toilet paper, right? And he's like, if it's this virus, why do we care about toilet paper? Don't we want food instead and apocalypse and all this stuff? And I'm like, it's getting blown out of proportion. But the one thing that people are not thinking about is what is happening right now where, of course, in China, everybody's secluded into their houses, right? They're all quarantined in their own houses. They can't even walk outside of their houses, right? Now, what we're understanding is happening now, there are some states already in America that have decided to send their workers home for 2 weeks. Now, nobody's locked in their houses, but there are places like schools that are shutting down. Matter of fact, the schools here, so they're sending all the kids home for 2 weeks. So the kids are home. Now, they've canceled the Arnold Classic. Obviously, they canceled South by Southwest. There's talk about canceling WrestleMania that I saw today. So any place that people congregate, they're basically closing. Now, what do you think one of those things would be? A grocery store, okay? A grocery store is one of those things where people come in large amounts to do their shopping. Well, eventually, it's going to get to the point where they don't want to have hundreds of people in and out there every day. They're going to shut the grocery stores down, which is going to make it very hard to get things like food, etc. Now, when that happens, obviously you can't get supplies. Okay, so now, what are you going to do when you're at home? You're not worried about dying. That's not what it's about. It's not about people are going to, wind up getting this virus and dying, so they need toilet paper. That's not what it's about. It's about the fact that you may wind up not having an option, not being able to go to places to get supplies because they're closing it down, trying not to spread this virus. The fear is so bad that they're basically, we have tons of flu in this season, right? We have tons of everything going on all the time. We have flesh-eating bacteria that's out there. It's all amongst us all the time. Like, we touch things that have the flesh-eating bacteria all the time on it. There's deadly shit out there all the time. However, the way that this thing has been hyped on the media is that you can't even get it. Like, you're like, what the fuck? You're not going to die, but you don't even want to get it. Like, okay, it's not harming children the way regular flu does. Okay, it's not harming adults, healthy young adults per se. In the cases that have been wind up people dying have immune compromised individuals and elderly. So basically the two types of people that normally would have issues with the regular flu. So it's not about the fact that this stuff is so deadly. It's about the media hype scaring everyone into not leaving their houses. Now, it's going to be roughly a 2-week period that they want you to stay home for, right? And don't go out and interact for 2 weeks. So make sure you have enough supplies for 2 weeks. Food, water, etc. As bodybuilders, we always have food, right? Our houses are chock full of food. We got protein powder, rice, bags of rice and stuff. Usually for 2 weeks, we could get it done and really not pay attention to it, right? But the thing about the toilet paper is Some people don't want to be, I mean, some people, maybe they don't stock a lot of toilet paper in their house. You know, in us, I mean, we'll just be real with you guys. We stock enough toilet paper between Aaron and I. We stock a good amount of toilet paper, paper towels, and things that we need. We just stay on top of things, right? And it's just kind of what we do. And as a general rule of thumb, Aaron and I try to keep more than what we need of pretty much everything. Like, you know, for instance, let me just say, all right, so protein powder. If I buy a can of protein powder, I buy two. So I'll have one up on the fridge that I'm using and one ready to go. When the one in the fridge is done, I take the one out from the spare room, open that one, put it on the fridge, and I buy another one and put it in there. So I always have one. So we try to stay ahead of things all the time in our household in general. Like if I run out of soap, there's already another thing of soap in the closet in the spare room. Like Aaron stays ahead of things like that. So it's like we always stay ahead of things like that. So we don't have to really worry about things in general, you know, like that. But people are freaking out because they might have to be locked inside their houses for 2 weeks. Now, me thinking that, I'm like, it's not unreasonable to think that you have to buy some extra toilet paper and extra water for 2 weeks if you can't get to it. And it's not even like we may be locked in our homes. If they close the grocery stores and close the shopping malls and they close these things because they don't want people to conjugate together and spread this virus any further because of how fearful it is, how crazy it is, and people are going to fucking die left and right, then you're going to have a hard time getting supplies. You know, matter of fact, we haven't even thought about this, but GIFD Labs, my supplement company, we have a product called T2G. It's a big seller for us. It's a huge seller. It's an adaptogen natural anabolic, right? Well, the supply chain starts in China with those ingredients. We haven't been able to get the Suma route to complete it. It's been about 5 weeks now, and we are still having a hard time getting, because that's something that usually the manufacturers don't source. It's not used with a lot of companies. They don't understand what Suma route is. They have no idea what it is. So when I'm sourcing it, sometimes the manufacturer has to source it directly for me from the sources. Those sources are taking longer. So it's even taking longer for my product to get back in stock than normal. And the virus isn't even really here where I'm at, right? Because that's supply chain. So many things are in play right now, but it's not really about whether or not you're going to die from the virus. It's deadly. It's not about that. It's about people's reaction to it through the media and the scare tactics and the hype that's trying to be pushed through the media that's causing the problem and causing people to stock up on stuff. They're not worried about dying. They're worried about being stuck in their house for 2 weeks and not being able to fucking wipe their ass. That's what they're worried about. So people go out and they're probably going overboard because they're like, what if it's longer than 2 weeks? Like, you know, no offense, but we don't have any say in the fact that these schools are shut down. We don't have any say in the fact that the Arnold was shut down. We personally don't have any say. We could say, hey, I'm fine with being exposed to the virus. I don't care. Just let me go. And the government is saying, no, no Arnold Classic, no South by Southwest, no this, no that, no school, no this. Like the government is shutting it all down. They're controlling this whole thing, and we have no say in it. They're saying we got to do this because of the spread of this fucking dangerous, scary virus. So that's what it's all about. It's not about, if you're going to die and Armageddon's coming, you need more toilet paper. That's not what it's about. It's about the fact that, look, this virus is spreading. It's not going to be Armageddon. It's not going to wipe out the entire fucking human population. But you may not be able to get into a store because they're worried about people in public places passing the virus around. Basically, they just want this thing fucking squashed. That's all that it's going on right now. They're trying to basically smolder this virus out before it gets bigger than it already is. The way to do that is keep people away from each other. So they're shutting down public things. Now, I'm not to say whether it's right or wrong. Who the fuck am I to say? I'm just saying that, look, making fun of people for getting toilet paper and water and food because you think that it's not a big deal, well, here's the problem. It may not be a big deal as far as the harm that virus does to us, but when those places start locking their doors and you can't get it and you're making fun of the people at the toilet, but guess what? You're going to knock on your neighbor's door and be like, do you guys have any extra toilet paper? That's going to be you. I didn't really think of it that way, but like my wife Erin told me flat out, like if this thing becomes, a state of emergency here, right? If Virginia and Fairfax calls it a state of emergency, she's going to be at the hospital for like 2 weeks. They're going to put her in the hospital and they're going to start quarantining people. And then as people are coming into the hospital for treatment, the hospital employees can't leave. So she went and bought me, this is the best part about being married to my wife. She stocked up on toilet paper, paper towels, food. We got chicken, we got rice, we got water. She did it all for me she did it like 5 weeks ago before anybody knew what was going on because she knew that if it happens and she gets locked down, I can't really get to the stores to get stuff. And it'll happen quick. It'll be one of those things like everybody's like, okay, whatever. Boom, all of a sudden you can't get anything. Like, what the fuck? Why? You know what I mean? And another thing that is causing some of the hysteria also is I've seen more than one video, not a post, a video of people in supermarkets, and the supermarkets are pulling the shit off the shelves. They're not selling it, they're fucking pulling it down. And then what happens is there's nothing on the shelves and people panic. They go, oh shit, they're selling out of water, they're selling out of this. Well, that $1 gallon jug of water that was on the shelf that they took off and put in the back now, and they're acting like, oh, there's no food on the shelves. Everybody's fucking, oh my God, we're running out of supplies. Now when that bottle of water hits the shelf again, it's $4. It's not $1 anymore. So they're using this to their advantage, right? Supply and demand. There's a demand right now because they're taking it off the shelves. They'll supply you with it, but they're going to charge you more for it. So Kanye West does this with his sneakers. I don't know if it's Adidas or Kanye, whatever. But if you go on, Yeezy Supply, and one of his shoes is not selling, and all the sizes are in, you go back an hour later, and all the sizes are in, you're like, well, it's not selling because that shit sells out in like 2 minutes, right? Go back an hour later, it says sold out. They didn't sell all those sizes suddenly like that. They pull them off the fucking website. Now what happens is it creates a demand. People are like, oh, fuck, I didn't get a pair. Well, they were just sitting there, but now they're all sold out. Shit, I mean, then it makes them really want it. All of a sudden, like a month later, restock, which is the pairs they didn't sell. They throw them on the website, restock, and people buy them like crazy, and they sell out instantly because they created demand for it. So right now, between the media creating this crisis and the grocery stores creating a demand for the products, then upcharging when they quote-unquote restock this stuff. Aaron and I went to the store this weekend. There was fucking water everywhere. There's toilet paper everywhere. It wasn't even remotely what you're seeing some of these other places. But what's happening is they're figuring it out. These companies, we went to Whole Foods, by the way, which I kind of trust Whole Foods for some reason. I don't know. I kind of trust them not to be scumbags and pull any shit like that because they could have already done it and they're not. Some of the water was a little bit low, but it was like we walked right in there and everything was there. It was like not a big deal, But the bottom line is, guys, like, it's not about whether or not you're going to contract this virus and die. That's not what it's about. What it's about is the people's reaction, the government's reaction, and how they're blowing this so out of proportion now because of things that they've seen in China, things that they've heard in China. We don't know what the fuck's really going on over there. That's the problem, is nobody really knows the fuck's going on. And we do know that, and I'll tell you this right now, I mean, this is just, again, observation. I am a logical, reasoning guy. I'm not a guy who just listens to what someone says and takes it for face value. I look at it and I think about it and I kind of turn it in different directions and examine it. I've watched so far President Trump and Pence. Something a little funny, guys. Pence was on TV the other day and I looked at Erin and I said, who the fuck is that guy? He looks so familiar. She goes, that's the vice president. He goes, how much you know about politics. However, these guys are in their 60s or above, right? They're older. They're not wearing masks. They're not restricting traveling. And they're still going places where people are and they're not too worried about it. Okay, so what does that tell you? You would think that the President of the United States and fucking crew around him they're trusted with top secret things. They're clandestine knowledge. They're trusted with fucking, classified information. They're trusted with everything in the world. They know things that we don't know. That's just the bottom line. So if they're not wearing masks, you don't think like a 60-plus-year-old man who would be affected by this virus and possibly kill him, who is the President of the United States, isn't wearing a mask? Now some people, he's stupid. Okay, he's stupid, but there are doctors around him. There's information that, let's be real, no matter how fucking stupid you are, you don't want to die. So no matter how dumb you are, to put a fucking mask on your face and be like, look, this is fucking serious, guys, right? As opposed to downplay, he's downplay, he's fucking stupid. It's not about him being stupid. Think for a second. Use fucking logic. Think realistically, right? Forget the fact that you may hate the guy or love the guy, whatever the case may be. What is in front of your eyes? There's a completely unprotected individual in the age bracket that this affects. This is killing people in this age bracket, right? Supposedly. We don't really know. We go by what TV tells us. Now, my thing is I don't like to watch a lot of TV. I barely watch TV. I like SVU. I love to watch SVU. But news and shit like that, and I go, fuck. Because if you watch one thing, they tell you one thing. You watch another one, it's another thing. Now I'm hearing there's 2 different versions of the virus. Oh, this one, like, it's constant scare tactics. And even if it was here on my regular doorstep, I'm like, look, if I get this thing, I get this thing. If it kills me, it fucking kills me. I'm not going to be one of these people that are out there fucking worried about it, nonstop fucking wrapping myself in bubble wrap in fucking an oxygen scuba tank because I'm worried about fucking some flu that popped up. If it gets me, it gets me. There's nothing I fucking can do about it, right? Plain and simple. I do my best to eat right, get enough rest, live a healthy lifestyle. That's my best defense. People should be thinking about what they can do to boost their immune system right now and not thinking about fucking sticking a mask on their face like all these paper masks that are being stolen. The paper masks don't work. Okay, there are specific masks that are needed, and the ones that everybody's stealing and buying up, they're not even the ones that work. So it's a false sense of security. There's people walking around with these masks. I'm okay. They're not even the ones that work. They're ones that the fucking virus can go right through, and you're wearing them thinking you're okay. So it's all like a mindset. If I have this mask that doesn't do shit on, I'm good. If I go stock up on toilet paper or water, I'm good. If I watch the news, they'll tell me exactly what to do. And meanwhile, everybody's running around with chickens with their fucking heads cut off. And at the same time, we're like, there's not that many people dying from it. But there could die from it Possibly, maybe. And that's enough to freak people out because they don't want to die. And I understand that. But the bottom line is logic and reasoning, okay? Don't listen to the hype. Don't fall for hysteria. Use logic and reasoning. If you see people around you that are getting very, very ill, and some people are actually passing away around you, put the fucking mask on, lock yourself in your house, whatever. But if you're just hearing shit on the news about it's here, it's there, oh my God, this person, that person, but you're not really seeing the effects of it at all, and nobody's really feeling the effects around you, like we have cases in Virginia, we have cases in Maryland, I'm in both places. So far, knock on wood, I'm not seeing a whole lot with it, right? So maybe, possibly, I'm a carrier. Maybe, possibly, my immune system's strong enough. Maybe, possibly, it's just not around me. I don't fucking know. But to live my life in fear is just not going to fucking happen. It's just, I tell Erin all the time, when she says something like, do you think you can do this? Something that's real difficult, right? And I'll be like, of course I can. I beat fucking heroin. If I beat heroin, you don't think I can fucking beat this? That's what I wrap my head around. Like, if there's not something right there that's it's affecting you, that's taking you fucking down, you can think about it and prepare for it, but you don't have to fucking obsess about it. You don't have to go fucking crazy about it. There are people out there right now that are locking themselves inside their houses, wearing masks, like putting fucking plastic around their windows and shit, because they're worried about the coronavirus. And I'm like, look, if that, you have to do what you need to do to make yourself feel safe, first of all, right? And if that makes you feel safe, that's fine. But understand that this whole thing, the reason why you're freaking out is because the shit that you're seeing on the news and all over social media about how bad this thing is, okay? And when in reality, the flu's a lot worse. I know people are going to point the finger. It's not if we cause the same hysteria over a flu, and matter of fact, there's two influenza A and B, the flu shots didn't cover it this year. There are people fucking dropping left and right from these two things. They get the flu shot completely wrong this year. More people are dying from that. If they put up the numbers of that flu, and you could die from influenza A or B, there are people right now sitting next to you at fucking class in fucking work that have influenza A and B. If they said that right now, all influenza A and B could fucking kill you, you'd be losing your fucking shit because that stuff's out there everywhere. If some of your fucking classmates and fucking workmates have it, or workmates? Co-workers. Co-workers and your classmates have it. Like, they could easily have created a fear, but we know the flu is not like that. We know the flu affects certain people. Doesn't matter what strain it is. Right? All of a sudden now we have the super flu. It's another strain of the flu, but it kills fucking everybody. Like, people in China just standing there and waiting on the bus and they just fall down fucking dead. When's the last time you had the flu really fucking bad? Right? And you were standing waiting for a bus and you just fell over dead. How often have you seen that? Just saying, logic and reasoning. Something else may be going on over there. That's what I'm trying to explain. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But the hysteria and the fucking bullshit that's going on right now is causing people to overreact at a time where there doesn't need to be overreaction. Do you need to be vigilant? Do you need to pay attention? Do you need to stay up on it and be aware of what's going on around you? Yes. But you don't have to jump to action and wind up, like, I gotta get the toilet paper and the water and everything. Calm it down for a second. If you want to do that, that's fine. But making fun of people for doing that is also fucking stupid, because bottom line is, if you take this like it's nothing, it's not about the virus hurting you, it's about the fucking shit that happens because of the virus. You could be left out the cold, wiping your hand with your ass with no fucking water. And nobody wants that either. So just be aware, use some logic and some reasoning, and I think everything will be fine. But the bottom line is, guys, very strange how another election year has another deadly fucking virus pop up, right? H1N1, SARS, fucking all these things, election years. It's interesting when you start tracing it back, and all these things, like I remember the H1N1 virus, my ex-girlfriend, her mother was vaccinating, she was a nurse, vaccinating the whole family when they were down in Minnesota, and I said, no. I'm like, I don't need the fucking shot. I don't take shots, I'm good. I just I take care of my body. I make sure my immune system's strong. I don't need it. And my client, Mark, actually got the H1N1, and my girlfriend at the time got the H1N1 even though she had the shot. They both had the shots and they both got it. I was in close proximity. I actually lived with my girlfriend. And my client I saw 3 times a week. I never get the virus. I never get the flu. Never got it. Because I ate right, I took care of myself, and I didn't freak the fuck out and go have another vaccination or whatever put in my body for something that my body should be strong enough to fight this shit off. As a human being, your body should be not strong enough to fight this shit off. Even if you do get it, you should be strong enough to fight it off. If you're not, that in itself is a problem. Okay, if you're not immune compromised due to a disease, or you're not an older person, you feel like this thing might kill you, you need to start looking at some lifestyle changes, because that's a big part of it too. So this thing kind of went in a whole different direction I was planning. But the bottom line is, guys, this guy on Facebook was like, somebody explain to me the toilet paper. That's what it is. It's not about the virus. It's not about what it can do. It's about the reaction from the hysteria being caused by everybody out there talking. It's like, someone may say one thing, by the time it gets to 10 other people, it's completely fucking evolved into something else. and it's this deadly, demonic fucking thing that's going on. When realistically, we have a fucking flu. Even if it's a bad flu, it's a fucking flu. You stay home, take your fluids, take your multivitamins, get some rest, and you'll be good. Don't want to spread it? Don't go out. It's pretty much that simple. So be safe out there, guys. Be well and take care of each other, and do what you need to do to make yourself feel safe and happy, and don't worry about what everybody else is doing. If they're going to the supermarkets and you feel like you don't need to, don't go. If you feel like you need to go stock up, go do it. Whatever makes you feel safe and secure, that's what you do. BioScheng@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. BioScheng.com is a blog. It's to do what takes care of you, Bicep, and we are out.